starting on Monday here at the Supreme Court, lawyers will argue over the constitutionality of President Barack Obama's health care overhaul law, which Congress passed in 2010. However, the opponents of this law claim it's unconstitutional because one of its main components requires Americans to purchase health care insurance if they don't already have it. The opponents of this law claim that Congress doesn't have the power to require Americans to purchase anything, require all Americans to purchase anything, and they are coming to the Supreme Court to see what the nation's highest court has to say about that. The Justice Department will be defending the law here at the Supreme Court. The Solicitor General, Donald Verrilli, will be doing the majority of the arguments in front of the Supreme Court. It is actually the Solicitor General's job to defend laws passed by Congress in front of the Supreme Court. On the opposing side are several states and some private organizations. Paul Clement will be doing the majority of the arguments for the people opposed to the law. Now, the session is actually broken up into 3 separate days. This will actually be one of the longest arguments ever in front of the Supreme Court. One of the things that the Supreme Court does not allow is live audio or video recordings inside their building. So if you're not actually inside the building during the day of the arguments, you will not get a chance to hear it live. And there are only about 400 seats inside the Supreme Court's courtroom. In an unusual move, the Supreme Court actually will allow a releasing of the audio version of the arguments on the same day. Normally, the Supreme Court doesn't allow that. The Supreme Court, on most cases, only releases the audio of the arguments on the Friday following the case. A very strong interest around Washington right now trying to handicap which judge will fall down on which side. And frankly, we don't know. The general assumption is that there are 4 conservative justices on the court, 4 liberal justices on the court, and Judge Anthony Kennedy in the middle. With this case, however, we don't know who will fall on what side, because conservative judges in the lower court have ruled for the law, and liberal judges on the lower court have ruled against it. So, frankly, it's anybody's guess which judge will rule which way on this case. But the general consensus seems to be that at least part of the healthcare overhaul act will be upheld. But that's just a guess, and right now it's still anyone's guess what the court will do.